Hey, YouTube, nomads, what's going on? Well, put out episode 2 yesterday. Up here at the shop working this morning. This is not our build place that we're doing in the series. It's actually where I work at every day. So I was sitting here and had a few things, and I thought I'd do kind of, let's call it an addendum to episode 2. Let's call this 2.1 or something, but I wanted to show y'all real quick. The wire we were working with and soldered on in episode 2 was just from a parts store. It was kind of like a, I'm not even sure what the shit's made. Some kind of plastic jacket insulated wire. I'm not that super familiar with it. What the exact chemical makeup of that insulation is, but it's a stiffer wire. Actually, wish I had some laying here. You can also get silicone jacketed wire, which would look something like. Anyway, so much for being prepared. Anyway, a lot of silicone wire you get, especially cheaper stuff you get on Amazon or wherever else. You'll see it says silicone jacket. It looks like this right here. It's kind of got like a shiny insulation on it. And this is what's going to come on if you buy like a LiPo battery or something. That's pretty much the wire that's going to come on it. The silicone is better. The wire internally will generally have higher wire counts, a little more flexible. It's also more bulky, and I'll just be honest with you, the insulation on it's kind of a gloss color. Doesn't look as good. What I was talking about in episode 2 yesterday when I said you could order some Dean's wire, this is Dean's 16 gauge ultra wire. Here, I'll strip a little bit of this off so you can see it real quick. I'll strip a good portion of it off so you can see it. Here, I'll just leave it frayed instead of twisting it. So that's what internally that wire will look like. This stuff is really, really flexible. The jacketing is awesome. It's also silicone jacketed, but it's definitely a different makeup, like chemically, I'm sure. It's just really flexible. It's nice to work with. Like I say, it's got a nice matte color. This is what I actually use in my boxes that I build every day. So I really think this is probably the best wire on the market that I've used anyway. It might be something better out there, but I'm not aware of it. Another type of conductor you can use that I didn't talk about at all is some just single copper solid wire. Stuff's pretty easy to come by. What I generally, and I do use this in some of my builds, if you're making like little short run of wire, you want something to be hard mounted, say to a board or to a sled, or say you make it up a sled and you just need a crossover bar. If you can get just, this is a 14 gauge regular house wire like you find anywhere. Usually a lot of times you see with the yellow insulation on it, but literally like most guys have this shit just laying in their garage. If you do any electrical work at all or know anybody that does, a little piece of this will last you a long time. Now it'll have of course, familiar with like AC wiring, you'll have 3 strands in it plus a ground, so you'll have a red, black, and white. And I'll just pull one of these out here so I can show you. Now these are jacketed. The insulation is not real great on them, so if you're gonna say if you're gonna use it for a long run, what I would do, you can actually take and just bend this stuff and make it look really nice inside a box where it's not flopping around or anything. And once you get through bending it, you can put some shrink wrap over that and make it look really nice. Most of the time I use it for little ground parts and pieces, or straps across a battery sled, and I'll just pull the ground wire out of it, that electric wire, and use it. But it's just really handy because you can shape it and form it wherever you want to, and it makes for a really nice, hard, solid mount in a box. Now, I have seen people wire up a box entirely with this stuff, excluding the 510 probably because you need some flex in it, but the only reason I don't really like that, if I'm wiring up a box that's got a MOSFET in it, something that could potentially wear out over time, I like to be able to remove that. So I like to have, own some wiring so I can kind of pull it to the side and work on it later. Having said that, if there's nothing wrong with just using solid copper wire, just make sure if you're going to use some solid copper wire, make sure you insulate it well when you put it inside your box. Make sure you run it just right, and it can look really nice. Now, it's not going to be forgiving, and what I mean by that is if you're using something like this wire, something that's flexible, you can kind of put it in your box and lay it wherever. When you use hard stranded wire, you need to make your bends just perfect. You'll need to make them kind of outside of the box if you're doing work inside the box, and make sure to cut piece just right. And also, if you're putting a piece inside the box and you're going to insulate it, it's a little bit more difficult because what you need to do is just barely clip the end just to your solder joint and then shrink wrap it really nice and get that looking nice. But just straight solid core, not solid core, but solid single strand copper wire can actually be a nice addition to some products if you use it in the right quantity, in the right places. Like I say, I like to use it for hard mounted ground straps and stuff like that. But worth pointing out. Anyway, just thought I'd run through that real quick, show you all a couple different types of wire and stuff. And also, if you're wondering, I talked about different kinds of solder flux, paste, and everything else. If you want to get right off the bat and get something really nice that works well for everything, one of these little tubes from MG Chemicals. I use a lot of MG Chemical stuff. This No Clean Flux paste is the shit. Now listen, it is a little messy, it's a little sticky, but you're never going to have a problem with, like you do, well, you don't know this yet if you're new, but water-soluble flux can cause you some problems in the long run if you don't clean it off well. And with a MOSFET, there's really there's not a lot of like crossover between the pins. It's not a huge deal. It's not like something we're gonna get critical about. But if you're using something like a board, like a DNA board, you can see some of these solder points here. If you use a water-soluble flux on this and you don't get it completely off, which is damn near impossible sometimes, it'll get between a lot of these posts and create some electrolysis that can give you some faults and glitches, and just don't use it. But anyway, if you want to go out and get some really, what I consider probably the best flux in the market for what we're doing, MG Chemicals, and you can get it off Amazon. It's not expensive. It comes in these little syringe tube things, which is really excellent especially if you're working on little parts and pieces. But this is kind of an addendum to episode 2, just some extra info for you. I'm going to get back to work here, guys. Y'all have a great day. Hey, peace out, nomads.